got the bed in the background here for part 12 and the giant Eva the elephant here. Part 12 is how do you still have sex? Or also, how do you not spend all of your life energy and all your passion and creativity and life juice on homeschooling so you can still have adult interactions with adults? It's a great question. I've been talking to my spouse about this, and his number one thing he said is you need to be on board together as a couple that this is what you want to do. And I know a lot of people that homeschool because just the mom wanted to. In our situation, it was my spouse that wanted to, and I was not on board. And it took me a few years to see the value in it. I wanted to do my own professional stuff, and I didn't want to be stunted in it because I was spending so much time designing curriculum. So I think it's number one, very important that both of you want to do this. So that way it's not a point of enmity, because it will be all over the place. You're going to have projects in every room, and you're going to have the constant reminder that you're a homeschool family. So you need to be choosing it unitedly, that it's what you want to do. Beyond that, if I'm completely honest, I really do not spend any more time doing homeschool than I did when I had kids in elementary, middle, and high school, and I had to do the running around. For us, school was staggered in the times that it started and finished. And so just the getting everyone there and getting everyone back and making sure homework was happening and keeping the balance of all the after school extracurriculars that I needed to, it was a full-time job. Even though I was working, there was another full-time job right there. So I really don't think that homeschool is more difficult than that. There is a lot required of parents when you're really being an active parent in public school, and as it should be. You should be actively involved in their education. And if you are, I really don't feel like you are spending a ton more time on task. And when you're doing homeschool, you get to be learning. For me, I'm vibrant when I have new things to share, when I have conversation points to bring up, when I know what's going on in current events and I can carry on with confidence conversations. That makes me sexy. I mean, I don't know if other people think that, but I think I'm more sexy when I know what's going on and I have important points to make. I know that some people thrive being teachers and some people thrive being learners. And the great thing about homeschool, about Casa School, is that both of those people are invited to the party. Whichever version you are that's better, you're needful, and you need to be a learner and you need to be a teacher, and you need to take turns with one another in doing that. And I'm not talking about your spouse here, I'm talking about you and your kids. But the other issue is I've fallen in love with my spouse, seeing him interact with our children and teaching things that he loves in ways that I had lost that passion for him, because we've been married almost 20 years and I hadn't really seen a newness about him for a long time. But when I see him come alive and presenting a new idea and sharing something to the kids and respectfully taking their questions and transforming them in meaningful ways, that makes me feel a closeness with him. You know, we've been watching The Crown, I think it is, and we watch Sherlock Mysteries all the time. And every single time that we do, we're like, oh, we've got to use this for homeschool. We got to use this aspect. This talks about when, you know, fill in the blank. What was it last night? It was the Suez Canal crisis. It was the Suez Canal crisis. We're like, we got to use this when we're going over Egyptian history. And having a common project that you're both on together is romantic. You know, it's something that you're working on together. So spouse-wise, if that's part of your equation, I think it can really build the relationship, and it can be something that you're walking hand in hand on as a new project that you care about. When it comes to your other friends, that's something that's been hard for me. I've had friends that say things like, oh, I just don't know how you do it. And what they mean is, I would never do it. And okay, I know, I understand that. I mean, I understand that having an hour and a half to go do CrossFit a day is cool. I mean, I wish I had that. I love working out and I don't have that time right now. So I would enjoy that myself. I guess I'm curious if any of those friends are actually going to take up this opportunity to homeschool because the situation is so radical with the pandemic. And I hope if they do, they will know that I'm a resource for them, because we can be very different people walking very different paths, and then we get thrown in the same boat together and there's not enough life preservers. So I guess I'm hopeful that if more people do homeschool, that will increase some of my relationships with friends, because that's something I could be helpful to them on. And having somebody to conspire with and bounce back ideas, that's important. So if you don't have those friends in your immediate circle, maybe that's another example of a reason why you should continue doing a homeschool group. Meeting up people on Facebook that do homeschool in your area, or meeting up with us online. I think that there's no reason why you should be less of a vibrant adult because you're homeschooling. If anything, it should intensify your vibrance because you are actively learning. You're actively building your brain cells and building your possibilities of things that you're interested in. I decided to go back to school and become a midwife because I was doing all of these science classes. I thought, this is crazy. I remember deliciously studying this years and years ago, and I still love it every bit as much. And I don't just love the theory. I want to use it as the application to help people's lives, specifically in refugee camps. I want to be a midwife in refugee situations. And I would not have come to that awareness if I were not actively studying biochemistry with my daughter last year. So there you have it. Be vibrant, don't be exhausted, and have sex.